Morning doves, noon crows, and night owls. Hello again. And here we are. 2026, the last time I was recording a world tour for my worlds. In case you haven't been caught up on it, I am making world tours for my Roblox worlds that I made while I was growing up, because this might not be here anymore. That's the case, that's the reason. Figured I might as well have what we have here. Figure I might as well, with what we have here, present and display something of a bygone era. We are in, this place is called, well, originally it was called Fancy Place 2, but actually now I have it titled as Dug to the New World. A little intro here, that little disclaimer. The first world was more oriented to just nostalgia and what I grew up with and what I experienced over the course of these years when I was playing Roblox way back then. Now we're in the second world. It's somewhat still around the same sort of nostalgia area between, because I only made 2 Roblox worlds throughout my entire time on Roblox. And then after that, I never bothered to make any more worlds after that. This is the second world once again. The last times I was making the tour videos, I was doing about 30 minutes. I don't know how I'm going to go about it here, but we will see. Well, anyhow, this is where we are. We're currently in the very first beginning area. Here we have the original insert tool that used to work. It's an it's an architectural piece right here of Roblox during the older days. And then we have a Hypercola. This is just to help you speed up. This is an update in comparison to the first world I added. And then you have your drink here, just a regular drink, because when you're traveling, you could at least have a little drink here and there. Well, unfortunately, the animation is not working anymore. We still hear the old Roblox chewing noise.
Can I have cheeseburger, please?
We got burgers here too, for you to enjoy.
Cheeseburgers.
Nothing like hearing something you haven't heard for years. And then we have the sit tool. You can basically make your character sit and relax, appreciate what was there or what's there, appreciate the scenery and atmosphere of the world. But that won't be really happening at any point with any visitors, because this world is officially outdated. And then this is a magic carpet. This is a modern Roblox piece in the catalog. It helps you fly, and it has some pretty cool rainbows. Well, it used to. Now it doesn't work. I mean, it flies still, it functions, but it doesn't do that flying. Doesn't add the rainbow that follows alongside you. And then we have ourselves a milkshake to drink. Very nice. So those are the tools that you are equipped with in this second world. Here we have teleportation pods. One for the final area, another for another area of the world, and then third one is a very large area. This is like the largest, most incredibly large, enormous part of this world that I am very excited to present once we get to that area. And then here, this area is a very interesting take, a interesting it takes a different tone from where we start with where we are right now. You'll find out. So there's basically 4, including this area here, 5 major points in this world. It's almost as if it's a very big open world free roaming map. And that's the goal. That was the goal of this world. That was what I wanted to do with this. That's what I wanted to make out of this world. And unfortunately now it's inaccessible to everyone. And it's now just a memory, you know, just a piece of old memory now. A remnant. That's why I have to film this. Preserve it while it's here. Anyways, we have... This is part of an insert that I found. Oh, well. Looks like I have this stand a little too close to the table. It's going to make some rumbling noises, but I'm going to try to move it back a little bit. Okay. That should do it. Sorry for the little screen disorientation. Yeah, that was an unintentional mishap on my part. But anyways, moving forward. Yeah, this was part of an insert. That is part of the inserts that I had. A really big weapons and food dispenser. Where in some case, where you're in a really big survival situation, you would equip one of these. You'd click these and you would equip them. And they would dispense right here. But now it's too old. Here's your spawn point. Here's the regular Roblox, old classic Roblox logo. That was, it's just the R. The stuff in the background, it was not part of it, but definitely the R. That was what it used to be. Now, as you can see, the Roblox is currently just some cube with a little dot in the middle. Doesn't really show us that it's very Roblox, but that's what the new people decided. Here we have ourselves our builder man, who basically monitors this world. It's pretty cool, right? At first, the first world was sort of frozen in time, and you don't really have a grasp of what really is, who's really managing the whole thing. But that's not something you really needed to think about. Just imagine. But anyhow, it's like frozen in time. The world of the first Roblox world I made, it's like frozen in time, and everything's somewhat frozen, but you're still having living species around, like birds that are still flying about even when the world's frozen in place. That was a cool concept. In this second world, now there's sort of a introspection that there is someone that is managing everything in the world that we have here. Everything. Managing, keeping, maintenance, taking care of things, just keeping an eye out to see if anything suspicious is going on. Just some sort of an implication or some form of interpretation for anyone that was here when they visited. That's what that is. We have ourselves a little statue here. I thought it was just a rather pretty nice way to display sort of a welcome to the second world, and you are heading towards the unknown, and just get ready for a journey. This guy looks like he's an adventurer. He looks like he's been out for a while. He's probably been out in combat. You're not going to be worrying about any combat in this world. Don't worry about that. You're just going to be an adventurer and be like this man after you finish this whole video. You'll be sitting here trying to relax. So we are basically inside this really underground cave structure. We don't really know what's going on, other than that there's a little pathway that leads right here. Also, on the original world, I still have some of the... I still have the shift tool right here. We still have the sprint tool from the first world. That's what I did keep. Well, anyhow, everything else has been a little bit updated, but that was a while ago. I just came here to just simply give the full tour. Everything has been completed here, finalized. Now I just need to do the tour. Alrighty. Let's get to this rather mysterious cave way. First, you'll see nothing but darkness. Your character is simply just venturing into the unknown, unsure as to what's going to lie ahead for him or her. But there he is, he's just venturing out. It's a rather long pathway, but in the meantime, you just go through with it. Recently, I've just been getting ready to move out of my place, to a new place at some point. I've been doing remodeling, repainting. That's why I haven't really been around to make any of the uploads. I've just been busy working outside, doing real activities outside, and doing work and doing overtime. I am having a break from my college courses. The new semester starts around February, so there's somewhat of a break. But as life goes for me, I've just been trying to keep going. We have appeared to have ventured our way into a new pathway. There's somewhat of an opening here. Looks like there's a clearing. I can probably take a small further. I can speed this up a little bit just to further explain our curiosity at this point. Alright. Well, here we are. Nighttime. That's quite a way to start off this video. Nighttime. Perfect. It's actually nighttime right now. It's 1:47 a.m. January 15th, 2026. That's what the date of this video is being made as. Well, without further question, we have the old helicopters from the last world that I retained, kept, and the airplane as well, that's still preserved here as well for you to use to fly. Let's pan this out a little bit. It appears that we are on a aircraft carrier, and that's where we start off with. We're on the ocean right now, and we are on the aircraft carrier. Some biplanes around here. This is an old insert base that I had when I used to battle my friends, my cousins, my brothers. My brother and his friends mostly. Just a little battle base that you can take cover under the chaos and everything. And there it is. That's pretty much the beginning. First epilogue. The first area for you. Next we have ourselves a stairway that I have used. It's only these ones with the red carpet on it, and it's gray, that I found from the inserts. I figured I might as well try to apply it here, not only from the original house from the first world, but I figured I would put it here, seeing as there's no more of a fitting way to this mysterious area and world. Yep. And it appears there's the little island that we came out of. And that looks to be a lighthouse. At the end of the tour is where we'll be able to meet back to this area. It's somewhat of a little spoiler there, but it meets back here. There's a way it will do it. We will find it out eventually. But in the meantime, let's just keep on venturing. Alright, at the stairways, and here we are with the ladder. Let's take a further inspection. And here we are, the first sort of world that we can actually experience. Right off, we're just docked off of that aircraft carrier. Now we are in this new area. And there's a bird flying. There you have it, good old Roblox bird. It's not really old, it's pretty modern, just somewhat. Haven't been around for a while, so everything feels almost old. But I made this. I made this world. I designed it. I found this off of the catalog. It was really good. It looked really fitting for this situation, for this world. So I was trying to go for a open world, as I say, a free roaming map for people, for players to explore, up to 12 players max. We will keep further up. Let's spread this map out a little bit. Alright, we're gonna head to this area right here first. We'll take a little exploration. There's the stairway here, leading to this very, very smoky spot. Let's take a look at what this is. You know, this area, part of this area kind of reminds me a lot of an old game that I played called Banjo-Tooie. You go into a place that basically feels similar to this. And it's very cool. Very, very, very nostalgic. And I guess here we are with a little hot tub, you could say. This one's off the inserts as well. You can just take yourself a nice rest. Oh, not necessarily drown, but drowning is an exception to the rule. Drowning in your emotions. There's your little hot spot. I really can't believe I don't remember what it's called. I know a hot tub, but there's another thing. Hot springs. This is like a hot spring spot where you can rejuvenate after a long journey, because this is what lies ahead is a long trip, my friends. And it appears we have planes and air jets, frozen in time, while a bird is flying in real time. That is, and we have ourselves another bird too. Moving forward, it appears that this is just another piece of land. But we have ourselves a another exploratory cave. It appears like I never really worked on this. I didn't actually know there was a interior to this. So this is actually an undeveloped area that I never knew until now. I didn't even notice that I didn't fully explore this world completely to the town to the T. I didn't do that. So this is new. Again, very much similar vibes to Banjo-Tooie, the very beginning half of the game where you're fighting a boss. You're very much in a cave like this, and then you end up working your way out of the pathway to this white light, and that was it. So far, pretty cool, pretty moderate. We're gonna try and test out the drink. This is the Hyper Cola, so let's see how much it helps. Oh, we're getting faster, friends. There we go. Wow, just like that, your character, he's on a caffeine overdose. There's the planes, and there's what you will find eventually in the end of this tour. Alright, well that sped things up pretty quickly. So here we are at a mansion that I have found off the inserts. This is also an old piece of nostalgia that I had done. This would have taken place around 2012 or 2013, most likely 2012, around my 3rd grade year of primary school. This was a really cool house. I thought it was so cool. I was really trying to find ways to impress people, but there was no one really in general to be realistic. But I thought it was so cool. I kept it in my inserts catalog. So Nick 3645's mansion, made by Shoddy Dallas Shane. Shoddy Dallas Shane. And here we are. Very cool, very large door, big windows, sort of modern design. And we enter. We have ourselves a hat holder, a carpet mat for your shoes to be put off. The place is very wide. At least it felt very wide when I first did it. I was wondering how I was gonna do my first world and second world, and I was like choosing back and forth multiple houses and mansions to see which would fit best. I've done many. I've used this house, I've done other houses, and I just felt so addicted to simply changing it each time, updating the world, thinking, oh, this will be it, this will be the house that I feel like living in, or this will be some place I can hang out with my friends, with no my to-be-nothing friends. Yes, I am to be welcome, but there's to be nothing as well with me. But that's nothing interesting. That's nothing too interesting. I never went into this bathroom. This is actually new to me. I never went in here. There's this really interestingly small toilet, clothing rack, towel rack, I imagine, and then there's a little bathtub. You get to experience seeing nature outside the window. It's like really nice. Unless there's some really weird, creepy person out here, but thankfully you don't have to worry about that. Builder Man will take care of him. Or her. He's the one monitoring this area. Except these windows, you can imagine they're specially made to be private. Only Builder Man can see outside. He can't really see the interior, like the private bathrooms. He can't see that, but he can see the other sides of the house. Pardon me, I'm gonna sneeze. He could probably monitor the outdoor, at least some areas pointed, like there's like invisible cameras of some sort. Not to sound too weird. Like, you can imagine they're cameras, but they're not. I mean, let's just imagine Builder Man has 360 degrees of eyesight, and he can basically know everything throughout the system and monitor everything, but he can't look at distinct areas where you are. If he sees where you are, then he's unable to be able to see. There's a detection in the system for the world that lets him know that you are not permitted to see, because there's your player is entering the vicinity of the area. Something like that. We have the good old Roblox iPod music. That's also something that takes me back. Modern TV, television, off the wall, and here we are with the stairways, that little window right there. Chair, very nice chair, and then we have ourselves a little balcony here. We'll get to this point eventually. In the moment, let's take a further inspection here. Little lounging area for people to relax and sit. We got this really nice painting. I never even bothered to observe it all until now. When I was little, I don't know what I was, aside from trying to find ways to impress my older cousins and my brother and his friends with cool models, I never took it upon myself to really observe any of this. I knew there was going to be a time. That's what I told myself when I was in primary. I said, oh, at some point down the line, years from now, I will be looking back and actually exploring this. But in the moment, I was like, until someone actually visits or asks me about it, or questions me and wants to hang out with me at that time or anything, never occurred. None of that ever occurred in the years that followed. Anyway, this is really relaxing. I hope to find it someday in real life, a place like this to actually relax and appreciate. That would be a nice break from all this employment life. Little design on the wall, more table countertop. I don't know what this is. It's probably too old. It got outdated. And here we have the deck. Another balcony, I mean. Got a music player here as well, again. iPod music player. And then I added a ladder. And on top you are presented with a hot tub. The other end of the area over there is a hot spring. This is actually a hot tub. And also another one I found off the inserts at the time that I discovered this. And you can actually sit down here. Like, wow, that is a nice break. Take that vast observation right there of the world and the birds flying and how the world is almost frozen in time. This is a really nice area that you can vacate yourself to if you are really taking a nice private vacation. This would be a nice place. Very, very relaxing. I could almost sit here all day. Wow, the video's already getting close, huh? Already getting close to that 30-minute mark. I'm not sure if I want to continue or do want to continue. Just like I mentioned, I was not really sure how I was going to approach this. Well, at least I finished this half of the area, so. Oh, I can't forget the balcony. I can't forget the other side of the balcony. Well, let's take a further look at that before we finish this video. And there's a bedroom right here, and a cabinet, more windows to observe, to get a different point of view. It's a really nice, relaxing area to actually really observe everything, really take in the scenery. Nice weather and everything. Alrighty, the balcony. Here we are, the balcony. Nothing much, huh? It's a small little area they can sit down or listen to music at. That's pretty much at least the first portion of this world. This is a big world. I will hint out that this is a big world. This is ginormous. It's a lot to explore from, or at least I like to think it is very much to explore from. So now we will go towards where are we going? We went through here, at least this portion. So now we're gonna have to go through this part right here, the little opening right here. All right, the video is already getting close to an end, and that actually felt really quick. I have to say for myself, that was really quick. That did not feel at all 30 minutes. But once again, I'm to be welcome. And well, I hope it's somewhat interesting so far. Sort of. I felt like I was going off a tangent, but that was just, this is the first part after all. All right, it's 2:05 a.m. and we have about 10 seconds. Enjoy your night. Enjoy wherever you are. 4, 3, 2, 1.